is how well I get along with others. From first glance, most people might not think I'm the most friendly person, but really I am. I'm really easy to get along with, and I can work with my coworkers just as well as I could work individually. So that's what I would say.
Okay. Tell me about a time that you had a difficult relationship with somebody at school or a colleague. What was your challenge and how did you address the situation?
A time that I had a difficult situation with a friend of mine would be, let's see, it's hard to think of a time because, I just said I get along with everyone so well. But I would just say whenever I get into a bout with one of my friends, I'm usually the one that will speak facts first and leave my emotions second. So I'm always one that goes for the solution immediately, whether that is the best option or not. So that's usually how I go about conflicts, is logic and facts.
So when you're doing the fact finding part of it, do you try to break it down with the fact finding, or do you just literally lay it out?
Well, I try to lay out exactly what the problem is strictly by the facts. So leaving emotion out of it will make it much easier for a solution to come about.
Okay. What would your ideal position be, and why do you think that would be a good position for you and do something successful for your career?
Well, an ideal position for me would be for me to be able to work freely and not be on a super strict time schedule. So I would be able to be a bit creative in my work and be able to work through different types of solutions or to different types of problems to get to the solution. And I would also like the chance to be able to work along with all of my coworkers. I wouldn't want to just be working on something completely different than the people that are right next to me. And just overall friendliness, drama, just overall will negatively impact the efficiency of the company. So that would be my ideal work environment.
So if you had deadlines, how do you handle the deadline part?
Well, there's always deadlines, but it's just the fact of having to do it step by step a certain way is what I would like to stray away from. I would like to be able to find my own certain way to the solution.
So you would rather work with not a guided schedule, just your own, be able to work from your own schedule?
Yeah, I would say so. I would like to be given an end goal, and basically it's left up to me how I get there. That would be just ideal for me because I would be able to use all of my skills to come up with a solution in the best way possible.
So in the process of coming up with the end deadline of the job, how would you communicate with your supervisor or your manager at that time?
Well, first of all, I hope there would already be a sense of loyalty from me to my superior, and then trusting me to get the job done. So hopefully, then I would be able to work through all the solutions that come to mind for me. But really, that's all I can say about that. Is if I had a deadline, I would certainly make it. And then if the solutions that I'm coming up with at the time aren't really working, I would certainly voice that to my superior so I would be able to still complete it under the time restraint.
And how would you handle the maybe criticisms or maybe not expectations of what your manager would want from you? How do you handle that when it comes to you?
Could you say that again?
If for say the job is not being done to what the level is supposed to be, so if there is a form of criticism or a form of negotiation on how we can do it better, How do you feel yourself handling that reaction?
I take all criticism positively. I think it will all, in turn, be constructive criticism. Because if I did do something wrong, I want to know that so I can then do it right the next time around. I really don't have my feelings tied around my work too much. So like I said, if I am doing something wrong, I certainly want to hear it. I don't want my feelings to get in the way and me just be doing a mediocre job whenever someone can tell me what I'm doing wrong, and then I can perform to the best of my ability.
Okay, so in your opinion, it's not actually a form of criticism, it's actually a form of improvement?
Yeah, I would say so.
What are the challenges that you see impacting you to maybe move forward in this position? Do you see any challenges being in your way?
If there were to be any challenges to stand in my way, it would certainly be something that I haven't been introduced to yet. So if I ran into some sort of problem or just any kind of error that would need a solution that I'm not used to, I certainly would learn what is needed quickly and be able to overcome that task. I would find any way to learn what I don't know and improve upon that.
Okay, so with that, if you were in a position and it was a position that you're fairly, you know very well, and you're asked to do another task outside of your wheelhouse and realm, how do you feel about that?
I would feel like that's completely acceptable. If I'm doing work that I'm comfortable with, I should be able to do it under a timely manner. So I would certainly be able to work on tasks that I'm not used to. And for one, that would be something I'd be interested in because I would be able to improve upon my skill set, learn things that I don't already know. And then if it is something that I do already know, I would be able to help out my coworkers, which would be the ideal situation.
So it would kind of be more of an advancement and an opportunity to learn something different than what
Certainly,
you're used to.
I think so.
Okay. What are some interests that you have that would help add to your career and how you look to move forward in your career?
Some interests I have, just in general, you would say?
That would help you with your career.
Well, some interests that I have, first is interest in cybersecurity all the way around. I play a lot of video games, so I know a lot about the world of being online with other people. So I know that there is room for mistakes to be made and people to be taken advantage of. So if I could do anything to stop that, that would be something that I would be super interested in. So those are some interests that I have that could contribute to my future career. Is just learning skill sets that are involved with networks and just online operations in general.
Okay, like the backtrack of things and how it's all set up.
Yeah, I guess you could say
that. What interests you most about the position that's being offered?
That is just something new and something that I'm actually interested in. Where I've recently been working, don't get me wrong, it's been a great job, but it's not in my ideal work environment. So with this new job that I'm applying for, it is something that I am interested in. So I'll go the extra mile to learn information that I don't about the job that I'm getting, and just do everything in my power to do the job the best that I can.
Okay. And would this interfere with maybe school or advancing your college?
Well, I wouldn't say that it would interfere. It would certainly be a tight schedule, but it's nothing that I can't handle. Advancing my academics goes hand in hand with adding experience to my resume. So experience on my resume goes, I guess you could say, as far as my degree can. if I have only the degree and no work experience, it'll be harder for me to get a job than if I had just a little bit experience and my degree. So that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Tell me one of your biggest success stories related to your career.
One of my biggest success stories, I would say, is I'm not afraid to admit it, but when I started out in college, I was not doing too well. I was making simple mistakes that were making huge dents into my grades. And after a couple semesters of doing that, I realized that, it was me who was making all of these mistakes. So within 3 semesters now, I've more than doubled my GPA from what I got it down to, and pulled my grades all the way back, and have completely restructured my work ethic and my study habits for school. And I certainly feel like I'm a completely different student. So that's definitely one of my best success stories that I could come up with, and that's most recent.
So do you think that would help you further your career, as knowing not what to actually fall into a career position?
I do think that. I think that, and I also think that my ability to recognize what I was doing wrong and change that myself. I think that is a super positive thing to take out of that experience, and that'll definitely contribute to my my future aspirations, my job, because if I do run into any sort of blockade or just tasks that I haven't been introduced to yet, I will find any way to get past it.
Okay. If there's something in your past you were able to go back and fix, which you just explained to me about the beginning of your college career, other than that, what would there be that you might want to go back and try to change?
So anything other than my mishap in college?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I could go back and change anything, I wouldn't say I made mistakes prior to college, so I'll stay in college. And I think it goes along with my mishaps, but I think one of my largest mistakes was trying to join a fraternity at UAH. I think that partially took away most of my attention from my grades, and it really just kind of put a halt on my progress in school and my professional life. So I feel like without that, I would have been able to make some larger strides into completing my degree and securing a career job.
Okay. Going over all this information, are there any questions that you have for me?
I would say just what is everyday what is everyday like in that position?
So you're in basically an office atmosphere. You don't have a time clock to punch in and out. You will have the trust of your colleagues to be able to perform and do what you want. That being said, with you having that kind of atmosphere, do you see any potential issues that may come up with that?
Can you say that again?
With you having the ability of coming in and out as you want in the office environment, do you see any abilities or any problems that may come up from you causing to be able to be at work and perform what you're supposed to do while you're at work?
No, I don't think anything should distract me from doing my job to the best of my ability. If that's where I'm working, that's my primary thing that I have going on. I'm not going to slack off of my main job if that's my main priority. I've got a schedule that I'll stick to, and I usually won't go off of that. So that's about how I get things done, is just sticking to the schedule.
Okay. Well, with